The man whose infectious charisma and quick wit won over audiences everywhere is Dean Martin. The iconic Angie Dickinson, a force to be reckoned with in the cutthroat world of Hollywood, defied all odds to carve out a niche for herself. But few realize that the connection they shared was more than that. It was a tie that changed their lives in ways neither of them could have predicted. Many people consider Dean Martin a legend, but he was more than that. Being genuine and comfortable in all aspects of life, from business to play, is something he instilled in me. Once, Angie Dickinson spoke with great feeling. Not only did he make her laugh, but he also helped her deal with the unseen stresses in her professional and personal lives, which was something that few Hollywood stars could do. Why, after decades of remaining silent, has Angie decided to finally come clean about Dean Martin? Why did she insist on calling him irreplaceable every time? Let's delve into this unknown tale of a real friendship that triumphed over the glitter and cutthroat competitiveness of Hollywood, a partnership that surpassed the limelight. Let's start by exploring Angie Dickinson's professional journey. A tale of unfaltering determination and remarkable ability, Angie rose from modest origins to become a Hollywood legend. Angie went by the name Angeline Brown and spent her childhood in a humble home in a little town in Kayem, North Dakota. She was born on September 30, 1931. The family newspaper was edited and published by her father, Leo. Despite its inherent simplicity, Angie's formative years were rich with priceless experiences. The weekly film screenings her father hosted were one of the most formative experiences of her childhood, subtly sowing the seeds of ambition for a career in Hollywood in the little girl's heart. The hardships endured by her loved ones were real, though. In 1942, Angie's family sought a new beginning and moved to Burbank, California, when she was 11 years old. Frederica, her mother, decided to put the past in the past after witnessing her father's battle with alcoholism. Both the Dickinson family's future and Angie's trajectory were altered by this decision, which led her to the glittering lights of Hollywood. A bright and driven young woman, Angie wasted no time making her mark in California. Thanks to her exceptional intelligence and hard work, she was able to graduate from high school at the astoundingly young age of 15. Having said that, things were far from easy. Angie began to cultivate her lofty aspiration to join the entertainment industry, while her friends chased after more realistic goals. In 1953, she entered a local beauty pageant on a whim, the day before the deadline, and it was her first real break. An apparently insignificant accomplishment that would profoundly impact her life's trajectory was finishing second, even though she did not win the title. Her modeling career took off after NBC saw her win this award. As soon as she went on stage, Angie's stunning good looks and dogged expressions won over audiences and led to her first acting roles. It was far from simple during those formative years in Hollywood. Angie learned and proved herself with each minor television role she embarked on. Her 1954 appearance on The Jimmy Durante Show was one of her earliest notable jobs. This position, however small, was the springboard for Angie's meteoric rise in the industry. Her meteoric climb to fame began with audiences' immediate recognition of her exceptional intelligence, stunning good looks, and acting chops. However, charming was insufficient. Angie understood that being attractive wasn't enough to make it in Hollywood. "I never wanted to be just another pretty face," she confessed at one point. "It was important for me to demonstrate that I could play complex, emotionally charged parts." She worked tirelessly to leave her imprint on the entertainment world, and her doggedness helped her escape the obscurity of supporting roles. The legendary character of Sergeant Pepper Anderson, played by Angie Dickinson from 1974 to 1978 on the classic series Policewoman, was her big break on television. She paved the way for future female action series stars with her portrayal of a fierce, smart, and determined undercover police detective. Angie was firmly established as a top figure of 1970s television, because to the popularity of Policewoman, which earned her a Golden Globe Award and other award nominations. She kept making waves in Hollywood with memorable roles in films like Ocean's 11, 1960, in which she co-starred with cinematic greats Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin in the original Heist series. In the exciting murder drama Point Blank, 1967, she played the part of Chris, which allowed her versatile acting skills to shine through even more. But her 1980 portrayal in Dressed to Kill, directed by Brian De Palma, was one of her most risky and divisive. Kate Miller, portrayed by Angie, was a middle-aged woman who was unhappy in her marriage, and who sought a way out by having an affair before tragically meeting a violent end. The film's controversial moments, which dealt with delicate topics like gender identity and sexuality, provoked backlash for the way they portrayed women. Also, the LGBTQ+ community were offended by the portrayal of an opponent whose gender identity was a factor. Regardless of the controversy, Angie's performance was praised for its bravery and exceptional acting, solidifying her reputation as an artist fearless in pushing the limits of her art. In addition to her role as Policewoman, Angie has a long list of successful television appearances, including those in The Love Boat, Wild Palms, The Colgate Comedy Hour, and many more. Her versatility and resilience were on full display in these roles, which propelled her to stardom on both big and small screens. Aside from her acting chops, Angie Dickinson was a major player in the 60s and 70s beauty and fashion scenes. She personified the modern, independent woman on screen with her stunning good looks, self-assured personality, and chic sense of style. Countless women in show business and beyond looked up to her, and she was more than just a celebrity. Throughout her remarkable 50-year career in film and television, Angie Dickinson was honored with multiple Lifetime Achievement Awards for her great accomplishments. Her impact is felt by viewers through her remarkable performances and the way she paved the way for other female actors. She is revered as a living icon. The life of Angie Dickinson goes beyond that of a young woman who triumphs against adversity. It symbolizes tenacity and unwavering ability. Whether it was a sleepy North Dakota movie night or the bright lights of Hollywood, Angie made her fantasies come true. Her incredible career, which began with those difficult times, has made her one of the most iconic figures in the entertainment industry. Now we'll talk about the coolest man alive, Dean Martin. The illustrious artist Dino Paul Crocetti was born into an immigrant family from Italy to Steubenville, Ohio, on June 7, 1917. Gaetano, his father, was a barber from the Italian village of Montesilvano, and Angela, his mother, exemplified the vibrant culture of South Italy. The Crocetti family was part of a close-knit Italian-speaking immigrant group. This meant that Dean had no language or accent when he started elementary school, making him an easy target for bullies. However, Dean's tenacity and resolve were evident even in his early years. He refused to cower in the face of ridicule, but instead looked for opportunities to show his worth. He supported his family via hard labor as a teenager by mining, boxing, and delivering illicit booze during Prohibition. While boxing gave Dean the power and ability to defend himself, it also left him emotionally and physically scarred. After stepping away from athletics, Dean discovered his life's work was in music. With the goal of making an impression, Dean started singing in tiny neighborhood bars at the age of 17, going under the stage name Dino Martini. His warm voice, charisma, and command of the stage allowed him to win over crowds in no time. An important turning point on his path to legendary status came in 1940, when he became known across the industry and became the lead vocalist for the Sammy Watkins Band. When legendary comic duo Martin and Lewis formed in 1946, including Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, Martin's career took off. Together, they became a national phenomenon, playing to sold-out crowds and appearing in 16 blockbuster movies. Dean Martin had solo success after breaking up with Martin and Lewis. He also became a worldwide legend because of his ties to the Rat Pack, which comprised Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, and Joey Bishop. The Rat Pack's impact extended far beyond the realm of music. In terms of culture, they were pioneers. They would not play in Las Vegas establishments that forbade black performers, like Sammy Davis Jr., because of the pervasive racial segregation in the city. The entertainment sector witnessed a societal divide that was helped by their camaraderie and sense of humor. With The Dean Martin Show, 1965 to 1974, Dean also made an indelible mark on television, in addition to his musical career. The show debuted a new kind of entertainment that was commercially successful. It was natural, funny, and full of surprises. Audiences loved Dean for his easygoing charisma, which he achieved by frequently skipping rehearsals in favor of reading his lines from cue cards. Even though Dean Martin had a successful career, he also had a troubled personal life, especially in his marriages and with his family. Elizabeth Betty MacDonald, Jean Beaker, and Catherine Hahn were his three long and troubled wives. In 1949, Dean's first marriage to Betty came to an end due to the overwhelming demands of both their careers and Betty's personal problems. During his most steady time, which lasted 24 years, Dean was married to Jean. However, his career took a different route in 1973, and the marriage dissolved. Despite the brief duration of his third marriage to Catherine, Dean took Sasha, her daughter, into his own family. For Dean, his relationships with his 8 children, of whom he was the father, were central to his existence. But tragedy befell the family in 1987 when military pilot Dean Paul Martin's son perished in a mission-related plane crash. For Dean Martin, the death of Dean Paul was an insurmountable tragedy. He started avoiding the limelight and stopped performing in public. After decades of smoking, Dean developed lung cancer, which was diagnosed in 1993. Dean Martin, who had previously excelled in the entertainment industry, died on Christmas Day, 1995, at the age of 78, after refusing treatment and choosing instead to spend his last days in the calm and quiet of Beverly Hills. His death ended an era of legendary proportions and emptied the hearts of his followers. He was buried with honor by his close friend Frank Sinatra, who referred to him as a brother in love rather than blood. Dean left an indelible mark on his loved ones and on society at large, and this emotional farewell reflected that. Dean Martin was more than simply a performer. He became an icon of grace, wit, and charisma. His charisma, the principles he upheld throughout his life, and his singing and acting prowess all contributed to his ability to enthrall audiences. The fact that Dean became a world famous while being teased for his bad English is proof that one can triumph over any obstacle with determination, bravery, and skill. He embodied an artist who was both gifted and compassionate, and his efforts to overcome social barriers will carry on in addition to his iconic songs and popular TV shows. The spotlights may have gone out, but Dean's charisma and infectious humor will live on in his fans' memories. Dean Martin and Angie Dickinson's special connection has captivated audiences for decades, so let's explore it further to see why. Dean Martin and Angie Dickinson had a connection that went well beyond their work together. An enchanting tale of uncommon camaraderie in the glitzy, frequently lonely Hollywood industry. Their collaboration started in 1959 on the set of the legendary film Rio Bravo. In addition to giving both actors a chance to shine on television, this cooperation marked the start of a friendship that would last a lifetime. At Rio Bravo, Angie had the opportunity to collaborate with Hollywood heavyweights like John Wayne and Dean Martin. Dean was remarkable on set for his talent and his genuine concern for his co-workers. In order to calm Angie down before intense sequences, he would often tell her to relax or offer a funny story. Despite Angie's inexperience as an actress, he put her at ease with his easygoing personality and natural humor. Even when he wasn't acting, Dean managed to make me chuckle. His charisma came from within, as Angie recalled. The carefree spirit of Dean is exemplified by one memorable incident from the set. The filmmaker, Howard Hawks, intended to blow up a storage barn in order to achieve a dramatic effect in a pivotal sequence. For the scene to have the intended effect, timing and accuracy were of the utmost importance. But something unexpected happened when the barn was set on fire. A lot of pink paper from the barn was hurled into the air instead of the intended smoke and debris. In the end, it seemed like a shower of pink snow, which created a bizarre and hilarious spectacle. Angie, Dean, and the rest of the team were all too embarrassed to hold back their laughing. Dean wasted no time in bringing a smile to everyone's face by making jokes about the circumstance. Howard Hawks, the notoriously violent director, was furious about the broken shot. His famous tantrum, which ensued, became a legendary Rio Bravo set story. Despite the mayhem, this scene perfectly captures the effortless friendship and contagious fun that Dean brought to every undertaking. His capacity to experience happiness and radiate it to others formed the bedrock of his profound and enduring bond with Angie Dickinson. On the other hand, the pink snow incident became a memorable and happy experience for Dean and Angie, showcasing the fun and friendship that Dean Martin consistently brought to the set. It was the little things like this, Angie reflected afterwards with a smile, that made her time spent working with Dean Martin special. Despite the scene having to be res hot, the pink snow moment was unforgettable for everyone there, and became a story that people would often tell anytime Rio Bravo was brought up. The bond that formed between Angie and Dean extended far beyond their work together. A profound personal bond was conveyed by them. Unlike most of her co-workers, Dean made an effort to listen to Angie and engage in conversation. This was something that Angie much appreciated. In the notoriously hostile and competitive Hollywood industry, he did more than just boost her self-esteem. He also made her feel safe in her work. Their genuineness and mutual regard for one another were the most striking aspects of their relationship. Despite the prevalence of animosity and jealousy in their field, Dean and Angie were able to keep up a genuine and lasting connection. Dean taught Angie the importance of being herself, and Angie had a great deal of respect and adoration for Dean. They had such a contrasting professional and personal approach, which made their relationship all the more interesting. Dean Martin's career was built on his easygoing charisma, genuine humor, and blue-collar work ethic. He eventually found his way into the entertainment industry through singing and comedy. In contrast, Angie Dickinson embodied strength and independence as she entered Hollywood via her attractiveness, and quickly proved her acting talent via perseverance and dedication. Their personalities and career trajectories were fascinatingly different, with Dean's impromptu route and Angie's methodical approach providing a striking contrast. Both Angie Dickinson and Dean Martin made indelible imprints on their respective careers, but they also became icons of honesty and tenacity in show business. Beyond their cinematic achievements, their impact on society's view of art and humanity is immeasurable. As a movie actress, Angie Dickinson defied gender norms. A watershed moment in Hollywood history was marked by her portrayal of the first female lead in a police procedural television series, Police Woman. It was because of her that Hollywood started to see strong, complex female protagonists on par with male leads. Beyond that, Angie captivated audiences with her ability to play harsh parts as well as strong female figures, and she went on to inspire generations of actors. At the same time, Dean Martin embodied unmatched charisma and style in addition to being a legendary figure in the entertainment industry. He left an indelible mark on audiences with his hilarious performances on The Dean Martin Show and classic songs like Everybody Loves Somebody. Despite his public demeanor, Dean was an introverted loner who loved simplicity and kept his professional and personal lives under check. That being the best isn't necessary, he once said. Being authentic is all I need. This phrase perfectly captured the genuine and carefree spirit he exuded during his life. One unique aspect of Dean and Angie's legacy is the bond they shared. Angie said that Dean's easygoing personality helped her deal with the stresses of her job. Dean was equally impressed by Angie's abilities and resilience. Even though they didn't cross paths very often, the incredible bond that formed between these two people lasted a lifetime. Classic masterpieces aren't all that Angie Dickinson and Dean Martin left behind. The principles of authenticity, humanism, and sincerity that they brought to Hollywood will endure. Their impact is felt not just in the unforgettable performances they gave, but also in the way they set an example for others who want to follow in their artistic footsteps while remaining authentic. Angie Dickinson, who is now 93 years old, enjoys serene days away from the limelight that once defined her life in her modest Beverly Hills home. Despite her reticent public appearances, she continues to be a classic Hollywood icon, radiating grace and charisma. Angie loves to relax in her verdant garden, read, and think about the memories that will last a lifetime. Dean Martin will always have a special place in my heart among those recollections. In addition to being a fantastic co-star, Angie saw him as a kindred spirit. When Dean had the entire set in fits of laughter due to his clever comments or mischievous antics, she would never forget his one-of-a-kind sense of humor. Still, laughing isn't the only thing that comes to mind when thinking about Dean. Angie greatly appreciated his modesty and generosity. In an interview, she claimed that Dean had never made her feel less than important. He always knew how to make others feel special. Those were moments that Angie will always remember. The joy and positivity that Dean brought into everyone's lives, not just on set. As Angie looks back on her life, she realizes how precious those memories are. Even in her twilight years, the anecdotes about her friendship with Dean Martin, the heated days on set, and the simple yet significant moments keep shining bright. Those things are forever, Angie says, her gratitude showing through in a smile that is both sweet and melancholy. Angie Dickinson and Dean Martin's closeness went beyond a simple friendship. It proved that even in the shallow Hollywood industry, there are timeless principles. Above all the celebrity and scandal, their partnership stood out as an example of trust and sincerity in an industry where it is so unusual. Their bond imparts a profound lesson beyond that of a simple friendship story. True relationships may survive and even flourish in the cutthroat world of Hollywood. Leave a comment with your thoughts on their story. It's more than just Hollywood history. It's a lesson on the importance of being genuine and nice. To make sure you don't miss any more enthralling biographies of your favorite Hollywood stars, subscribe to our channel. Looking forward to seeing you in the post video.